What's up, everybody? My name is Devon, and this guy over here is,
Tyson, thanks for having me. Glad to be here. Just here to hang out.
yeah. We're back for another edition of the Tech9 newsletter. This week, we're going to be covering some ClickFunnels 2.0 feature updates, some exciting industry updates as well that you're not going to want to miss. We're going to be doing a how-to video on how to create product variations inside of 2.0. We have a very awesome tool of the week that I'm going to leave on a complete cliffhanger because I just think, man, it is too good to be true. Wouldn't you say,
Fun time.
Tyson?
Oh, it's a good time. Yeah, I definitely is one of my favorite tools out there. I keep saying that for every tool. We only present our favorite tools, so just keep that in mind. All right.
every week it's your favorite tool because it's the truth. It is your favorite tool. I mean, I totally get it. And honestly, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, this is one of my favorite tools as well. And also, we are covering a question and answer like we do every week, but I think this one really correlates to entrepreneurship. So you're definitely going to not want to miss that. And as always, Tyson, we are going to be covering what?
I feel like I have an idea. I think I have a clue as far as what you're referring to. But if you could fill me in, I would be
Yeah, it's
thrilled.
not my Costco grocery list. I mean, it's
I
long.
love Costco. That's cool.
It's
I like
only
Costco.
got 4 items, and those 4 items cost $400. We know how it goes. It's actually a giveaway.
A giveaway.
A
Oh man.
giveaway.
Okay.
And you're
All
not
right.
gonna want to miss this. I'm gonna leave it on that cliffhanger. We're gonna be talking more about this at the end of the newsletter. So, like I said, please stay to the end if you want to hear more about this. But what else have we got going on today, Tyson?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive in, guys. Today, the first thing up on our list here is feature releases within ClickFunnels 2.0. The first thing is going to be the ZenDrop e-commerce products release, which is essentially a e-commerce connection where you can find products on their marketplace and you connect it to ClickFunnels and they fulfill on everything on their end. Basically, as soon as the product is bought, they fulfill everything, they hold the product, all that good stuff.
Wait, so you're saying I don't need to have any products of my own to launch a funnel in ClickFunnels 2.0 now?
Fortunately not. Yeah, you are good to go just with that one connection. They have a free plan that can get you up and running. I think they have a paid plan as well. I don't know if you really need the paid plan. Not sure. But I just know it's an option and it makes it so you don't have to have that product to get going. You can go and find one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
So that's the first one. The second thing is going to be that you can now import custom contact fields, which is a big one. That's a big thing that we've been waiting for a long time. Before you can always set like you could bring in like the actual email address, obviously. You got the name, you got the phone number, maybe a
Right.
website. Sometimes it didn't
Yeah.
pull right. I had issues with that before, but now you can have custom input fields on top of that, which is freaking amazing. Anything that wasn't included in the designated drop downs you can now just you can have there as a custom input.
Yeah. No,
Who knew?
I feel like before, like you said, it was super basic, and now you finally have that full customization that I feel like people have been asking for a really long time. So it's just nice
Yes,
to see this come to fruition here.
definitely. I totally agree. The last one to be aware of this week is going to be that you can now trigger workflows with a course completed, a module completed, or a lesson completed. So that opens up a lot of possibilities here with just keeping the flow going within your
Sure.
course, within your programs, right? That is not possible. So check it out, have fun with that. That's it for this week's update on future releases, which leads us into the next thing, which is exciting industry news. There are some words, some things I'm seeing online flowing around the platform TikTok.
What was that again? What was
TikTok
the platform?
TikTok. If you've never
Okay.
heard of it in your life, you're probably living under a rock, and it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Today is
If
the
you're
day
living
where we
under a
introduce
rock
you.
and your name is Patrick Starr, it's totally fine, but we're still here to fill you in.
Still here to support you along that journey. That's okay. They are introducing a new AI chatbot. Who would have guessed, right? Everyone is getting in the AI game at this point, and they have a chatbot. Meta just released one, right, within all of their platforms. And I'll tell you, it's all right. It's it works. It's cool. You can search things up on it, but I don't know. I just still go to ChatGPT to be honest. Um, it feels strange to search random things in Facebook, but uh, TikTok's Genie, that's what they're calling is Genie, um, is going to do similar things where you can go in and you can search things up. You can ask questions about certain topics, and it'll find videos for you that relate to it or answer your question directly right there on the platform. But on the creator side, and here's where the most powerful things come in, you can ask it questions about your user engagement. What are people watching the most? What are types of videos that people seem to enjoy the most? What types of content do you think I can create that people would resonate with the most
Wait a
for my
second.
business?
You didn't tell me this. You didn't
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me
There's
this.
there's a lot. There's a lot, and this isn't fully released yet. This is just information that has come up that they've talked about, and through research, what I found, it's
Sure.
this is what people were reporting on as far as how it's going to actually function. So that is pretty dang cool. You can so it's basically like an AI companion for your business on TikTok. When it comes to creating content, the main
That's
things are
awesome.
for content creation, you can ask it to suggest content that you specifically should create for your page, for your business. Basically, they're just trying to make it so you are staying on the platform, you and the other people on the other side, right? The actual consumers, people who are watching the
I
videos.
I think that's such an interesting thing too to really think about, just to kind of touch on that, is like a lot of times these platforms, any of the AI or like whatever they're creating, it's more designed towards you as the consumer to keep you on the platform. But I think TikTok's kind of throwing you a bone there as a creator and saying, you know what, yeah, we want you to be on the platform, but let's also give you these tools and these ways to help you help other people stay on the platform and consume your own content. Because I mean, TikTok is its own beast. I've
Yeah.
always said it. You and I have talked about it. I know I was posting on TikTok for a really long time, and it either hits or it doesn't. I mean, there's no in between on TikTok. So having these analytics to kind of look at, and this AI to say, hey, maybe this would be better for you, or maybe you can shoot this angle as far as content. I think if this turns out the way that they're talking, I think would literally change the game, not only of AI, but just content creation for the platform.
Oh, definitely. And the way you interact with everything, it's gonna be crazy. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. Like they're obviously gonna be add on to it. Now, one more thing to add on this onto this, which is pretty huge, is we kind of talked on it last week with Meta's release of personalities for like, for brands, for influencers, where they can chat with them, and it's a trained AI that they've created to answer questions and stuff like from them or as if they are them, right?
Mm.
TikTok's taking it another level, and they're making it possible to create virtual versions of you on the platform and do live streams with that, which is crazy. Live streams, like live, it's a virtual version. You can, it's not
Wait
you.
a second. How do I even know this is you? Is this a different personality, or am I actually talking to you right now?
It's a great question. I'm not obligated to answer any questions that my lawyer's not here to tell me yes or no for. I cannot.
Oh.
I'm sorry. So, but today, no, no, but it's gonna change up the dynamic a lot. So when it
Sure.
comes to user generated content, you won't. I don't know if there's gonna be like a tag saying this is AI, is this
Yeah.
virtually created character? I don't know.
There is on TikTok and Instagram that
I know Instagram,
it's
but
required to
yeah,
have in place if something's AI generated. So I'm sure they'll probably lean into that a little bit more. And if you're using some sort of personality, it'll probably automatically generate it. I know
sure.
before in TikTok you had to flip a switch, but you were still kind of required. So like if they picked up that it was AI and you didn't mark it, you run the risk of that video getting taken down, or
Uh,
worse with your account if you continue to do stuff like that. So
sure.
I imagine they'll probably lean into that just a little bit more, just to keep
Okay.
people safe from you know people trying to say that something's real when it's not. Because I could see that slippery slope for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So something to look out for. You got animated virtual characters coming soon as well.
Yeah.
So
I'll be releasing my own personality as well, but it comes out after 8:30 at night, so you guys probably won't see that.
oh, oh God. Okay. Well, that's it for my side when it comes to industry updates you gotta be aware of for this week. That's it. You got any
Yeah.
quick how to
Yeah.
stuff that we need to be aware of?
I do want to touch base with you on a how to. You guys are going to be able to see. You'll click below in the newsletter, and you can see an actual full on walkthrough for a video and a blog post, kind of expanding on it. But I want to touch base on a feature in 2.0 that I think is sometimes underrated and almost forgotten, which is product variations. And so if you're in like an e-com sense, let's say you sell clothing, let's say you sell supplements, and you have different scenarios of, okay, I need to sell a blue t-shirt, a red t-shirt, and a yellow t-shirt, and I need to also make available the size small, medium, large, extra large. You can create these variants to create this kind of ease of the customer journey so that you're not having to create like an individual product for like, this is a small red shirt, this is a small blue shirt, that kind of stuff. Now, the other thing with the product variations in 2.0, I've messed around with product variations in other platforms, and it's not as seamless as it is in 2.0. I mean, you click a couple buttons, the flow is really nice. I really like it. I think it's a very painless setup. This is definitely a feature that you want to be utilizing if you have a sense of like e-com in your business, or maybe you just have variations of products and you want to make it look really clean on the page. You could do so with this feature.
Nice. Pretty cool. And you can also select like specific images for each variation too,
Yeah.
which I found pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
awesome stuff.
Tyson. Hey,
Yes.
Tyson.
Yes.
Um, I I was just curious. Did you have any tools or anything like that you wanted to talk about?
Okay, we're to the tool and resource spotlight apparently for this week, and that tool that we're going to be talking about is called save image as type. Now, this
Save image as
is
what now?
save image as type. That's the
Oh,
actual
okay.
name of the actual the tool itself, right? And the only use for it is to basically grab images off of a web page, which might sound like you're stealing. Now, I got to put a huge disclaimer out there. Use this tool responsibly. Don't go out there start stealing people's IP. Like if you need permission to start using images, make sure to reach out to the actual creator of the image or the person that it originated from. Whatever. I use this for funnel hacking. I enjoy recreating pages exactly as they are. If I really enjoy a page, I'm like, man, I want to recreate that. This is awesome. I go in, I use this tool to grab the images off the page essentially. I won't market it. I'm not going to steal the image. I'll delete it after I'm done, right?
Tyson won't go out and steal your offers and sell them as his own. Don't worry.
No, not at all. That's not okay, and that's a huge red flag. But I enjoy creating identical versions and then going in and making that shift. We go in and you start changing image assets for your own. You go in and change the copy. Obviously, you make everything your own and make it unique. But the flow and the way that the page actually is laid out, I really like having things set like as almost a mirror image when I'm going
Yeah,
through that phase. So this tool right here allows you to go to any image on a page. Well, not any image. If you can drag it around, that's an image on a page. Technically, you can right-hand click on it, use this to save the image as a JPEG or a PNG file. You can even use WebP file if you want, but that's kind of what this tool allows you to get away from by downloading the actual JPEG version. So
sure.
that's it. It's all it's really used for. Is just grab an image off of a page, and now you have an actual,
I was
correct
gonna
version
say
of that
that
image.
that's kind of interesting that there is the web image files, because that's really, like you said, what this Chrome extension kind of helps you get away from is the fact that if you were trying to maybe take an image off of a site for the sake of like funnel hacking or whatever, when you right click it, usually it just has the option for that web
Yeah.
image that it doesn't really upload, and if it does, it looks really weird. So it's interesting that it even has it as an option. I wonder what the science behind it is.
Well, I mean, WebP is like just that generic file type that you get when you hit save as for any image. So you can technically go to
Yeah,
any image right now, save as, and WebP is only like that's the file type you get. But then you can't
sure.
reuse it on any other pages. You can't. It's it's locked down. It's not the same. It does not work the same. So
Yeah,
yeah, this just allows you to move forward and actually get the file type that you need.
sure.
That's
Yeah,
it.
no, that's awesome.
Again,
That's super
use it
cool.
responsibly, guys. I'm not
Oh,
condoning
please,
stealing
please.
anybody's
Yeah.
IP unless it's Devon's. I'm just kidding. Don't do that either.
Hey,
We,
at this point, my stuff on funnels is your stuff. So if they're stealing stuff from me, they're stealing stuff from you, Tyson. Come
that's
on.
actually a very good point. Don't do that for either of us. That's all right. That's fine. I don't, that's totally fine by me.
Tyson said, just go out and steal Devin's stuff. And then he's like, wait a second. Okay, never mind.
Huh. Yeah, that is a valid point. So that's
Got
okay.
you there,
We'll
buddy.
reel it back. We'll reel it back. But yeah, that's it for the tool of the week. Enjoy it, have fun. There is a video
Yeah,
explaining that as well within that section on the newsletter. Click on it; it'll take you to technically it's a blog post. From there, we have a whole walkthrough or a listed out guide to how to use the actual
yeah.
extension there. But That is it. That's all I have for that.
Awesome. And on a lighter note, I wanted to talk to you guys about just a question that I feel like is very prevalent in the entrepreneur space because when you're really trying to grow your business, be successful in your business, there comes a time where you kind of hit this crossroads where you might question where is this work life balance that people talk about. I think it's so easy to have, or I should say easier to have a work life balance when you work a traditional 9 to 5 because whatever time you actually go in for work, I think it's hilarious that we call it a 9 to 5 when like people work different times. But anyways, whatever time you actually go in for work, whether it's 9 to 5, 10 to 6, whatever, you go to work, you get the work done, you come home. Even if you work from home, you have those times where you're working, and then when you're clocked out, you kind of have this free time to say, okay, cool, I've done this. I've done this for the day. I'm going to make money off of what I did here. And now I can do whatever with my family. Now, as an entrepreneur, you kind of hit this snag where you're like, especially when you're trying to grow your business, I don't know what's enough. At least that's the question that's kind of come up in my mind. It's like, well, what is enough? If you created 6 blog posts today, is that enough to say, what, that's going to build in the business and bring people in? If you've created some content, if you created a funnel, if you launched it and 7 people opted in, at what point is it enough for you to step away for the day and say, you know what, I'm going to spend some time with my family. I'm going to take some time away and maybe even just spend some time with myself. There's not a clear answer to this, but I would say these points that I'm going to bring up can be very helpful. And the first point is really just kind of setting boundaries. It's okay, even though it's not a traditional 9 to 5, to basically start off your day and say, you know what, I'm going to wake up at this time. I'm going to start work at this time, and work is going to end at this time as well. I mean, shoot, if you want it to be even more technical, give yourself times throughout the day of saying, okay, here's where I'm going to take a 15-minute break here. I'm going to take another 15-minute break here. I'm going to take an hour lunch here. Maybe because you're your own boss, you're like, I'm going to give myself an extra 30 minutes, and that's going to be time to go outside and exercise or just, remind myself that there's an outside world. I think that's super important, is just kind of,
Sure.
touching base and still being able to set those boundaries. Another thing too that I think is really important in this case is prioritizing tasks. I think sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in like this rabbit hole. I don't know if you've ever been in those spots, Tyson, where like, let's say you're creating a funnel and you're like, okay, I need a logo. And so you're like, you know what, I'm just going to design it. Maybe you end up in this like 6-hour rabbit hole of trying to make it just right. Whereas like maybe it should have been a scenario of saying, hey, I'm going to prioritize stuff that needs to get done versus like the busy work. So maybe the logo could just be the last thing that happens, but I need to get this funnel out. So I'm going to create the copy for the page today.
Mm,
I
that's tough.
find that,
That's a tough one.
yeah,
That
yeah,
I end up with like 20 tabs by the end. I'm like, wait, why did I create this again? Oh yeah, I was coming back to this for, yeah, again, logos or like
yeah,
random images you're trying to put on a page. Yeah,
sure.
that happens all the time, man. That's a tough one.
Or the Canva rabbit hole where you're like version
Uh
5, final version, I promise, and then you're like, wait, that doesn't look right. Okay, version 6 is the one. 7 hours later, you're like on version 23, and you're like, this is the final version. Um,
yeah, no, that's relatable. I feel you.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the last 2 things I wanted to touch on this that I think would be very useful is just setting realistic goals, in both on the short term and the long term. So, a lot of what Tyson and I would do on the day to day is we're setting daily goals of saying, hey, this is what I'm going to achieve for today, right? That's like your ultimate like short term goals. Maybe you have some more short term goals where you say like, hey, by the end of the week, I'm going to have this funnel out and launched, right? And then you have some long-term business goals. Maybe by the end of quarter 2, you have a certain revenue mark you want to hit, where a certain amount of people opted into your newsletter. I think kind of breaking down these goals and really putting them in front of you gives you a clear picture of like where you're at, and I think also gives you like that peace of mind when you're like, should I step away? If you have these goals up here and you're like, man, look at all these things I'm actually getting done. I think you give
Mhm.
yourself the peace of mind of saying, hey, I'm actually doing pretty well, you know, because I just, I don't know about you, but I'm really hard on myself. I think more than anybody can be hard on me, where it's like I hit those points where I'm like, okay, am I doing enough? It's like, no, maybe not. I'm gonna work a little bit harder. And then I start to reflect and I'm like, wait a second, look at all that I've done. Created this funnel, we launched this newsletter, we did this, we did that, we did this,
Yeah.
everything in between. And then before you know it, you're like, I'm just not giving myself enough credit.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I started doing for that is like having like a notebook or something by me or on my desk, or even notepads, right? Where like I'm
Mhm.
writing down the actual tasks I'm doing for that day as a bare minimum. I have like a top three for the day, and I cross them off afterwards. I'm a big fan of actually crossing things off or checking things off. It feels like
Whoosh.
I'm actually complete with it. Yeah, exactly. And then after that, everything on top of that is just icing on the cake. It's just extra things that I maybe it's something I wanted to get done later in the week, but I'm tackling today because now I have time.
Yeah.
Then it just feels like extra. But if you come to that point where you're at the point in time or point in the day where maybe it's dinner time, you want to go hang out with your family, you're like, yeah, you don't feel as guilty leaving and not doing anything further that day because you've already tackled that plus some maybe at that point in time. And yeah, that's I don't know. That's a strategy that I've found very useful.
Sure.
And then also
Eh,
taking that sticky note at the end of the day and throwing it away. It feels nice,
yeah,
refreshing.
for sure. That's awesome. And I think honestly too, there's always gonna be like this like smidge of guilt on both ends. This feeling of, am I doing enough in business? Am I doing enough in my family? I think that's where like the imposter syndrome kind of rises up sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think we just have to know when there's maybe some truth behind it where we need to reflect and pivot, or maybe it's just us getting in our head a little too much. But I think coming back to these points will be very useful in kind of continuing to help give you that work life balance. There's one last piece I wanted to touch on that I think is sometimes underrated, that I think needs to be talked about more, and it's just really taking care of your mental health, your physical health, and like being somewhat careful of like what you eat, because I think all of these things kind of come back to having that cognitive function and like productivity going on, where if you're not working out, if you're not having like somewhat of a balanced diet, if you don't have like a regular sleep schedule, if you're not practicing like mindfulness through meditation, this all builds up over time to the point where you're just like, you might just be going through the motions, even if you're super successful, because you're just so out of it all the time. You're just like, okay, cool. I guess I'm coming into work. It's 10 o'clock. I'll be working until this time. Let's go, I guess, so um I know that's a big point that you and I always talk about too as well. It's just like keeping that well-being, that mental well-being kind of going through this process as well. Because I think so many people are just like, I'm gonna just keep grinding until I can't grind anymore. I'm only sleeping. I met one guy one time that was like, I've only been sleeping 4 hours a night, and I'm like, why? Have you been all right? Like, have you just been having a hard time sleeping? He's like, no, I refuse to let myself sleep any longer. And I'm like, well, are you tired? He's like, I'm exhausted. I'm like, so,
Oh, how
so
do you do
why not?
anything? Like, what?
Yeah. Why not sleep a little bit more? He's like, but I need more time to work. I'm like, but that
Sure.
like
But you
sleep
might be
is
more effective
important.
if you're all fueled up. You got this energy. Dude, that's so
Yeah.
bad for your health long term. That is tough. They've done so many studies where they've found that sleep is like one of the biggest things you can do for your body. So keep that in consideration. The working out part, that is definitely super important as well. I feel like you get more energy over time if you work out consistently. But that's
Yeah.
not to say that there's not like phases in the week or phases within like a given month where like you just got to get this project done. You got to go through and do this. So just make time to maybe go on a walk. It could be something small. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to go to the gym
Of
every
course, of
single
course, you want
day.
to say go on a walk,
Okay,
Tyson.
go on a
Ah,
oh,
gosh,
God.
dang it.
Well, I sensitive topic. So you can also roll. I don't know if that counts though. Maybe.
Oh, so now it
Still,
doesn't
you want
count.
you
Now
getting
it's
an
not good
upper arm
enough.
workout?
Sorry, Devin. If
Oh,
you're not actually walking, it doesn't count. I hate to break it to you.
sorry, man. It's exclusive. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man.
No, I assume if you're not putting the wheel on, you're still getting, if not more, of the same exercise, or on just a regular jaunt around the neighborhood. So still making time
Honestly.
of some sort to
Yeah.
go do some form of physical activity, right?
Yeah.
Um, it makes a difference. At least that's what I
Hey,
found.
well, we could pull away from this moment
Yeah.
of you being so mean to me. I
Jeez. Let's roll on
Tyson.
past this, move on to the next section here.
Yeah.
We have something pretty dang
Ty-
special.
Tyson.
Um,
Tyson, what is it? What's so special about it? What are we gonna talk about?
Guys, if you don't know by now, we are doing a giveaway and it is being announced soon. I'd say we have what, 12 days? 12 days left.
Yeah. Didn't you say we
And
had like over 200 entries?
over 200 entries at this point. I think we're nearing 300. We're getting pretty dang close.
That's crazy.
People are taking advantage of it, and I want to see that everyone here does as well. So if you haven't
Mhm.
already, make sure to click the link in this section of the newsletter. It's going to take you to a giveaway page. We are essentially running this giveaway for our pro plan for Repair My Funnel. If you don't know what that is, essentially we have done for you services where you can just reach out to us with a task of the day. We've done a few already today where someone reached out, they had a problem with their page. Some things were showing on mobile, some things were showing on desktop that shouldn't have. And we hopped in real quick, switched it up, got them all up and running within, I would say, a few hours. It was pretty fast, but it's done
Yeah.
for your services. Reach out, let us know if you have an issue, and we take care of it basically.
Yeah. And it's
Or,
unlimited tasks too.
yeah.
That's the beauty of it is, we're not going to cut you off at any point. Unlimited tasks. And you were going to say something else, Tyson. I cut you off, unfortunately.
No. I was just gonna say that it doesn't matter if it's like something's broken in the funnel or you just need help creating something, maybe a external connect, like a third party connection within ClickFunnels, right? Whatever it is, we got your back. So that's
For
it.
sure.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And there's weekly calls that we've been doing as well. There's a private community. We offer Loom support kind of outside of the done for you tech services. I always tell people it's like maybe you have like a marketing question or just like something that you want to get answered really fast and you're like, you know what? You don't necessarily need to fix anything for me, but I had this question and I wanted to kind of hear from the experts. You could submit a Loom video request as well.
Mm.
We do funnel audits that you could submit. We're working on some premium template releases as well. There's so many awesome things a part of this pro plan, and we're going to be giving this away to 3 lucky winners. So you're definitely going to want to enter in if you haven't already. And the way we have it set up, the more tasks you do after you opt in, like sharing it with somebody and liking our Facebook page and Instagram page and stuff like that, it gives you more entries, so more chances to win. It's super
Yeah.
awesome.
If you have a friend that also would enjoy this or benefit from this type of thing, just share it their way. It doesn't put anything against you. I mean, obviously you put another person in a pot, but at the same time, you spread the chance of winning one of the 3 spots. So
Yeah.
it's also a year-long thing. So that's something we've got to mention as well. We're giving away 3 year-long opportunities or openings for
Yeah.
this pro plan. All
Yeah.
right. That's it. Pretty fun stuff. I'd say it's super exciting. If you have not done it already, I highly recommend it. It's going to go by and you're going to be like, dang, I wish I was part of that. So
Sure.
that's it. There will be a link in that section. Go click it, opt in, join, and we'll be here announcing it on my birthday, July 25th. Yes, that's my gift to you. And that's it.
We're coming close. 12
Coming close.
days. Well,
Yes.
12 days from this recording, but
Yes. Okay. I guess yes. 12 days from this recording. We're on the 13th, but you will be seeing this on Monday, Monday morning. All right. That is it for today's series here, today's newsletter. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, you want to chat with us, honestly, you can just respond directly to this email and it will come to our inbox. So there's that.
send us a reply. Tell us if you loved it. Tell us if you hate it. If you tell us that you hate it, you might get a mean message back from Tyson, but go easy on him.
Oh,
It's another personality with the TikTok feature. It's not really him. So
this is not a real image of me. This background's not even real. I could probably touch this cactus and it wouldn't hurt. I'm not
I
going to do
dare
it.
you.
No, I won't do it. I've done it before. Those perks do not come out. So that is it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Have a fantastic rest of your week. We'll catch you next Monday.
See you guys.